I was thinking about what I said before about what I think a miracle is. A miracle, the word miracle is an interesting thing. I was thinking about the definition, the way that David Hume talked about miracles. It's like something that's a violation of the laws of nature. When I think about miracles, all the times I've ever thought about it, I never really thought of it that way until then. But it's always something that inspires you. That's the one way in which I tend to think about a miracle. If miracles were to happen, they would inspire you because they always have to be something incredible. I mean, just making a pot of coffee is not a miracle, not unless you have some real severe disability or something, or you're in some harsh condition where a cup of coffee was extremely difficult to get. But just everyday things, riding the subway. If you live in a big city, like I live in a big city, Chicago. Um, or getting on an airplane and flying from one place to another. That's not really a miracle. We don't think of those things as miracles because they happen every day and they're not biblical, so to speak, and God didn't do it, so it's not really a miracle. But I think that you can choose to look at things as a miracle. It's like what Einstein said that there are two ways you can look at everything. You can look at it as if everything were a miracle, or as if nothing were a miracle. So it's really an attitude toward things, not so much the event, but it's more your attitude toward things. You can look at things and feel a sense of awe about it. To really feel that sense, to look at it that way, to kind of look at the world with a different set of eyes, because sometimes people could be surrounded by things that are wonderful and beautiful, and just really amazing, and they don't see it. They're so into their problems and thinking about things and worried about how they look and what other people are thinking about them, and generally like a million and one little trivial things that don't really matter. I take the time when I'm going to work every day to look at people around me, and think of how amazing it is, and just about being on the train because I take the train every day, and I think about so many things, and just I feel this tremendous sense of inspiration just from watching everything in life. Around my job, we always had these rabbits. There's this little rabbit that hides over in the bushes. I see him almost every day, and it's amazing to see this animals and just the beauty of it and everything. I think that we can choose to do that. You can make a choice to look at things that way. You can actually stop, slow down, and make it a point to pay attention to things. And look at how amazing it is. Sometimes when I'm going past the airport, I look at these airplanes. I look at these big, huge planes, like coming in for a landing or taking off, and it's just amazing to think that maybe 150 years ago, people, if you described all this stuff to people 150 years ago, they would have looked at you like you were nuts, because that would have seemed impossible. And now this everyday life. Life is full of amazing things, and it's just a matter of taking the time to look at them. Looking at all the things you see in nature, to look at the flowers, to look at the bugs, the little insects crawling. Sometimes I see these little insects that look like a leaf. I saw one on the thing, and I thought it was a leaf, and I'm thinking, until it started moving, it's like, that's amazing. There's so many things like that, and you just need to take the time to stop and take a look at it and notice it, and then in that moment you experience miracle. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a religious thing. It doesn't have to be anything like that. I can't think of other words for it, but that's a good word. It's not a bad word to use. Miracle. You know, you can look at things and be amazed.